Hey guys, before we start today's video, I just want to jump in here real quick and let you know that I've put a lot of miles on my e-bike. This little thing right here has absolutely been a game changer. Now you might be asking yourself, why is it such a game changer? Because this thing folds down small. It can go into all kinds of small vehicles. You got a vehicle? This thing will probably fit. This thing is a TST Buddy. It's a 20-inch bike that fits me, holds up to 450 pounds. This thing is quite impressive. Fat tire, foldable e-bike. Now, not to mention, this thing right here has got a 1,000-watt motor, 48 volt, 10 amp hour battery, up to 23 miles an hour and up to 60-mile range. It's pretty impressive, especially for the price, I'm telling you. You know, I did the little unboxing video and all that stuff. This thing right here has been absolutely awesome. It fits in the bus. If I fold the seat forward, I can actually shove this thing in the back of a Volkswagen Beetle. So I'll drop some links down below. Make sure you check it out. TST's got a bunch of awesome products, but the Buddy, that's my travel buddy. All right, enough of that. Let's dive into today's video. YouTubians, Gary, VWJawbreaker, welcome back to another video where today we got some work to do on Lulu, the 1976 Westphalia bus. And you might be thinking, Gary, it's a Volkswagen. They're always gonna have problems. Yeah, I'm fully aware. But this one, it's kind of a safety thing in a way, so we need to take care of it before we dive into all the metal work that we have going on later this year. Yay. Without further ado, let's get going. So here in the cockpit of our bus, as you know, I love my steering wheel from vintage air-cooled parts, but this is not good. Now you might be saying, yeah, well, you know, it's a bus and it's a Volkswagen, it's an old vehicle. True. However, I figured out what the problem was. And no, it's not the tie rods. No, it's not the drag link. It's none of that. I'm pretty sure it's the center pin. Center pin? What are you talking about? Let me throw you underneath and I'll show you. How's that? So right here on the front of your beam, you've got this center link pin. And this was what your drag link hooks to your little pitman arm that hooks to this. And this is what also controls your tie rods. So this middle pin right here is known to wear out. So you stay here, you relax, let me get up, and I'll go turn the steering wheel, and let's look together and see if that might be the problem. Do you see anything going on? Pretty sure that's where the problem is. So basically, that's not supposed to do that. So what do we do to fix it? Well, I hope I have everything to fix it. I guess we'll find out once we dive into it. But here in front of me, I have a full kit here from Wolfsburg West. Here's your new center pin. You've got your new bushings, all your spacers, washers, your caps, the whole 9 yards. And these bushings here are actually not needed to ream them out. They come already pretty much perfectly fit. Now, if we need to ream them a tad, I'll show you exactly how to do that without a special tool. Just requires a drill and a little emery cloth or a little brake hone, honer. Very simple, because you're just barely trying to take anything off. So first thing we need to do is go ahead and get this thing jacked up and get this thing disassembled. So let's dive into it. That ain't going anywhere. Now we got it jacked up, we're underneath, and we've got a Zerk fitting right there. We'll probably pull out. And then up top right here on your pitman arm, we've got a bolt we got to take out, pry that up, and hopefully we should be able to get that out of the way enough so then we can go ahead and start removing the pin and the old bushings. And there we go. Our old pin is coming right out. Definitely has some wear on it. Little top cap comes off. Got a spacer right there. Well, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably a good thing the camera shut off there for a little while. Bunch of choice words were said, not to mention, well, let's just say that no Volkswagen parts or tools were harmed in the making of this video. So let me give you a recap. So we've got our center pin back in. My bushings were actually fine. It was the rubber pieces, the little seals on top and bottom that were pretty much gone, along with wear in the actual pin. So I slid the new pin in because, you know, you saw me, I started to knock the bushing out, and then I was like, wait a second, let's just see. So I slid the new pin in there and there was absolutely zero play. I'll take that as a win. But like I said, normally you want to remove your Zerk fitting for your grease point, and then you can knock out your old bushings and tap your new ones in. It takes a little bit. So basically you have your center pin, you've got a wavy washer, a seal, and then on the top side you've got another seal, a thrust washer, and the cap, and then your arm goes back on. It's kind of a pain to get everything compressed because this bottom wavy washer, right, kind of a wavy washer, you need to compress the whole thing, get your pin, the detent and the pin lined up to be able to get your bolt through. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Make sure you got a good size C-clamp to pinch all that together. Once that's together, you can go ahead and tap on your bottom little cover and then go ahead and grease her up until you get grease coming out. Then you're pretty much good to go. Now, one of the things I had to do in order to get that squeezed down is my C-clamp was not big enough. So I'm having to modify my C-clamp by taking the little swivel foot off the end and cutting it back a little bit. But you basically need a C-clamp with a minimum of 5 inches open. I would actually try to go to 5.5 to 6 inches open to be able to squeeze everything together properly. And again, on that detent and the pin that your bolt goes through, need to make sure that everything's lined up. So I actually used a punch to kind of make sure everything was lined up, and I put a little mark here at the end just to make sure that I knew where that was in relation, right? So I knew that was right there, so I put a little mark here with a Sharpie, and that way I could slide it up into place, work it with a punch and everything, get everything lined up as I was clamping everything together, because again, that wavy washer at the bottom, you got to collapse that down some. That's what helps keep tension on everything. To be honest, it really wasn't that bad of a job as long as you have the proper size C-clamp to kind of push everything together. That's really where I struggled the most before I modified that C-clamp. Once I did that and kind of marked that center pin again, you know, it made things a little easier. It's really not horrible. Now, of course, I did it on the ground, on jack stands. Probably be much easier on a lift. If you want a better video to watch, I actually just Googled this. Mike Effing Garage actually has a pretty good video on it as well. I'll try to remember to link that down in the description, but check out his video. Mike does some great stuff, very knowledgeable. So I guess the only thing really left to do now is go ahead and take this thing for a quick test drive off camera and make sure that we're all good to go. And again, I did grease everything back up, grease it up until I saw grease coming out, wiped it all off. We should be fine. So, as long as I don't find anything out of the ordinary on the test drive, we'll pretty much go ahead and call it here. You know I don't like dragging these videos out and making them extremely long, so like I said, we'll just call it. So I appreciate you sticking around. I hope this helps somebody, because it wasn't really all that much fun. I mean, it wasn't bad, but still wasn't fun. Maybe I'm just not in the mood to do this today. All right, guys, till the next time, be kind to one another and be good.